it's Brian with GreyWolf Towers again. So today's video is going to be on a console type item. Now this both classifies as a console in my opinion, but also as a computer or pre-built. I'll explain to you as we open it. This is for a Lenovo Legion Go. Now the exact model I can never remember, so I'm just going to read it off the box here, is the 8APU1. So this is a black colored handheld. I believe they call it shadow black is the color scheme that they call it. But we will go over the design, look at it, see what it is. Right now, at the time of this filming, it is selling for $499, $499.99, something like that, plus tax, brand new on Amazon. The price will probably go down in the near future because they are supposedly going to be releasing a second version, a Go 2. I am okay with having the older, outdated version because what I use it for is very limited. I am going to use it for at most 1 or 2 regular games and then a handful of games that are on emulators. Now, for this specific model, it is a 512 gigabyte NVMe drive. It is upgradable, but it uses the small 2230 sized NVMEs, which are rather pricey. I want to say that it was around $85 for a 1 terabyte, and it's like $150, $180, something like that for a 2 terabyte, which is actually rather expensive considering you can buy a brand new 2 terabyte drive that's the 2280 size for about 100 to 110 right now, sometimes cheaper depending on sales and promotions and things. It does only have 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. This one is faster than the Steam Deck though. The Steam Deck I believe was 4800 megahertz. This I believe is 7500 megahertz, but hopefully there will be something in here, otherwise I will correct it down below if it is different. But I believe it's 7500 megahertz. The ROG Ally and ROG Ally Z1, not the X that just came out, but the original models, were I believe 6000, 6400, 6800, something like that on the speed. So it's faster than even that. The main reason that I went with this one over, say, a ROG Ally, one is because brand. I trust Lenovo more than Asus, but also two, the screen on this is a 2560 by 1440 or 2560 by 1600. I'll correct that down below, but it is essentially a 1440p 8.8 inch screen as opposed to a 1080p 7 inch screen. And for me, that makes a difference. The extra almost 2 inches makes a difference, and the higher quality makes a difference as well. But let's go ahead and take a look at what you get in the package for roughly $500, give or take tax. So I have not opened this. I have never seen one in person. There are some really cool features though, and I will go over those as we open this package. But it is sealed, which is always nice. However, what I found funny was the package is not overly huge. It is decent. I'd say probably about 24 by 6 by 10 inches, something like that for the package. Instead of shipping it like this, which I'm glad they did what they did. I'm just saying instead of shipping it like this, they put it inside of a larger box that was probably 3 feet by 2 feet by almost a foot, which is plenty to fit this in, which is what it was. And then they had some packing paper and stuff like that to cover it. And it was awesome. I love that they did that. However, it seemed kind of a waste that they went quite as big as they did when they could have used a box about half or 2/3 that size, and it probably would have saved money on both the box and on the shipping. So I did buy this from the Lenovo store on Amazon, which is actually shipped and sold by Amazon, but it's a Lenovo product. So it is a brand new unit, direct from them. It's not used, refurbished, or secondhand in any way. Let's take a look here and see what we have. So there is foam to hold it steady, and then it is inside of its box. So kind of in a lot of ways very similar to how they package laptops. You get a box, and then inside the laptop will usually be wrapped in something like a plastic bag or whatever, and that will be surrounded by foam inside of the box, and then that box will usually be inside of a larger box. So kind of the same thing. I do not have anything to break the seal, so I'm going to have to reach over. Give me one quick second. Okay, I believe I broke the seal, so I should have cut out a few seconds there. Now this is the Legion Go, like I said. So I guess technically the box sits this way on the shelf, and it's just supposed to be Legion, so it's L-E-G. A lot of people have called it the Lego, L-E for Legion, G-O for Go, because it is the Legion Go. That aside, let's go ahead and look at the box before we go ahead and pop it open. On this side you have Lenovo Legion Go, and then some different aspects, such as the fact that it's Windows 11. It comes with Windows 11 Home, not Pro. So that is one thing to consider. You may need to upgrade it with a $20 or $30 key if you want Pro features. AMD Ryzen Z1 series, so it is the Z1 Extreme CPU. You've got 8.8-inch screen, touch screen. It has, I'm going to use the Nintendo term, Joy-Cons, but it's got controllers that are removable, but form the portable when you put them on. It's the portable tablet. You've got battery in here because it's included inside the tablet. There is not, as far as I'm aware, a easily replaced battery. I believe it is replaceable simply because you can open the case, but it does not mean that it's necessarily easily replaceable. It may or may not be difficult to hunt down a battery that will work for it. I will have to look into that and try and research that a little bit during Christmas break. It has a SD or micro SD card reader, and I'm not sure what that symbol is, but I'm going to assume that it's the software symbol for the Legion software, for the Lenovo software. Other side is essentially the same thing, nothing big there. On the reverse, you have over here, you have all the serial number and all that over here. I'm not going to show that just because I don't want anyone trying to register it or anything without me. And then you have the fact that it is the device has a battery to it. On this area, you've got the fact that it's an 8.8-inch QHD display, Legion True Strike controllers, Lenovo Legion Space, which is what that emblem was, which is the software, 10-point touch screen, 49.2 watt-hour battery. If I understand correctly, it does not equate to 49 hours of usage. However, it does give you the size of the battery and roughly how long it will last over the course of usage. If I remember correctly, it's going to fluctuate anywhere from about an hour to about 6 hours, depending on what exactly you're doing with it. I highly doubt you'll ever hit 10 hours. You might hit 6 to 8 if you're just doing some very basic stuff. Because it is Windows 11, you can install non-gaming stuff and use it as a Windows tablet PC, fully functioning Windows system. It does have multi-modes, the Z1 processor, expandability through the SD card, and Windows 11 as I stated, and then you've got all the recyclable stuff over here. So that aside, this is the box that you get. It says over here the size, and I'm assuming that's the box size. Sounds about right for the box size. And it says that it's capable of holding 25 pounds or 25 pounds per inch, however that's done. So the gross weight that could potentially be in here is 25 pounds. But I can tell you right now, it's actually approximately 5 to 7 pounds. It's not more than 10 for sure. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we get inside the actual box of the Lenovo Go. So it opens up nicely. It does have the seal on it that has to be broken. I broke it with a extra RAM, stick of RAM that I had laying around. If you have one, great. If not, a knife, pair of scissors, screwdriver tip, whatever. So, okay. Oh, wow. Hey, I am already impressed. So here's the So here's the Go, and we will go over that in a second. You have a paper here that talks about warranty status, using a code for a discount on an extended warranty. Down here, you've got inside, this is where the Go was, along with the one paper. This was actually sitting inside this little flip pouch. So that's kind of cool that they have that. It's a little cubby area. I kind of like it. This looks like it's just the basic safety information, you know, simple things that shouldn't necessarily have to be told to a buyer. You know, things like don't lick it, don't put it in your mouth, don't try and eat it, don't smack yourself in the head with it, don't plug it up with a charger cable that's not compatible. Now, for compatibility, you want to try and find one that actually specifically lists it as a compatible product, but also you want to double check the specs of the charger to make sure that the numbers on it match, because the voltage, wattage, and amperage all combine to make how it delivers the power to the unit. And those are important items. So there is this little box here that has the charger in it. And it looks like that is the end of what's in here. So let's take a peek at the charger real quick. So just a simple box that folds open, and it's just a single piece USB-C connector with yellow on the inside, which is kind of cool. Lenovo likes yellow. Their chargers for their laptops are usually a little bit larger than this, unless they're USB-C chargers, and they are usually yellow inside as well. It is a color scheme that they have used for a very long time. And it's just a regular American wall charger plug. It is, however, not a very small one, so the brick does all the power conversion from DC to AC and everything. Let's see if I can read. 65 watt, 20.0 volts, 3.25 amps. So you want to make sure that you get a 65 watt USB-C charger that puts out 20 volts, 3.25 amps. And the 3.25 times 20 should equal 65. I'm not going to do the math right this second, but I'll put down below if it's a different number. But that's generally how that equates, is that you multiply the amps times the volts to equal the wattage, which is what I was saying before about how it's an important thing to keep in mind, that you want to deliver the right amount. It isn't so much that it has to be 65 watts necessarily. It's that if you have something that's, say, 22 volts and 3 amps, it may put out too many volts and damage the system, because there is a voltage protection system in place. Usually 2 volts won't really make a difference, but it could in a device that's sensitive. On the other hand, something like, say, 15 volts and 5 amps may give you a very similar, I believe that comes out to 60 watts instead of 65, but the amperage may hurt some of the components. So you have to be careful, and you have to make sure you get one that matches. So you don't have to necessarily use this exact charger, but you would want something that is 65 watts and 20 volts, 3.25 amps. Those should not be terribly difficult to find. It should be pretty simple. And they usually are pretty easy to see what the amps and wattages are when you go to purchase a charger. Alright, so we're going to take that one aside. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this box and we're going to put it down here for right now. And we're going to take the actual Go, and I'm going to go over what I'm really impressed about with this in a second here. So this is a display of the actual unit that's going to be inside. We are going to take a look at the more exacts. I'm going to go ahead and break the seal on this real quick. But on this, it's kind of like it's heavier than cardstock, but it's more similar to cardstock than, say, the cardboard of a box itself. But it is cardboard of some kind, just lighter than, say, a box. You've got the fact that it game, you've got the tablet with the controllers off to the side because they're removable. You've got a monitor, so you can plug it up to a TV dock type situation and run it through a monitor or a TV. And then a capability of connecting to your phone. I'm assuming that it's going to allow you to basically connect Windows 11 to the phone, which is actually pretty common, and if you have Bluetooth, you can do that on any Windows 11 computer with a Android phone, and I assume with an iPhone as well. You've got barcode up here, you've got the little icons of what's, the features are, the Lenovo Legion space icon here, Lenovo Legion space here, and then this is kind of like it's not hologram, but it's holographic or holo styling, where you look at it and based on the lighting, it changes the color of these. So right now, my view from here looks kind of almost like a light blue teal color, and then you change the angle and now it almost looks like there's no color to it. You change it again and it's more of a green. So something to think about. I'm going to try and not tear that because I kind of like that. So that's really cool. I'm a fan of keeping packaging materials in case down the road I decide to sell or trade it for something else. What I was impressed about though is the fact it comes with a semi-hard, it is flexible, but it is semi-hard nylon carry case. And I'm going to try and post it here because I'll probably post the video first. But I actually bought a carry case for this thinking that it would not come with one because none of the images showed a case of any kind. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and open this real quick and we are going to go ahead and take a look. You've got the little cover so that nothing gets scratched. It's got little screen indentation, joystick indentation there. You've got the tab here that pulls up. You've got a stand for one of the controllers, apparently only one. I did read that. It comes wrapped in plastic. And then you have the actual unit. You've got Legion across here, which looks like a kickstand. Yep, there we go. So that's cool. It's got your information down here along with the genuine Windows sticker, eSport scan for Lenovo. You've got the Lenovo here. You've got ventilation. You've got the controller buttons for the rear here. I can understand how some people can find that uncomfortable. I personally don't plan on using those, but it's good to have. You've got the bumpers and the triggers. You've got, I believe, power button here, USB-C here. Looks like that's the micro SD card, if I understand correctly. Plus and minus for the audio. You've got a button here and a button here. This looks like it's for the Lenovo Legion Space software. This looks like it's a menu button of some kind, so probably equivalent to a start button. X, Y, B, A buttons. It is a touchpad. It is covered, and I'm going to leave it that way for a little bit. You've got the joypad, which actually feels really responsive and good. You've got a joypad up here. You've got a D-pad, and then you've got two more menu keys. One looks like it's probably used for taking screenshots, and then you have the screen itself. Does not have any kind of protector. Kind of disappointed in that, but you also have two buttons on each side, the rear here. I'm not sure what this turn knob's for. I'll try and put down below what that is. And then you've got a button here, which I'm not sure what that is. And I'm going to say these are probably the release buttons down here. There you go. And there we go. So the controllers are removable. Then you have the tablet, you have the controllers. You can buy third-party stands separately, but the stand just sits down and you set the controller in it. It is magnetic, however, so that's kind of cool. So it keeps the controller in place. I do not believe that there is anything regarding the specifics of that say one has to be in it versus the other. I believe it's when you're not using one and you're playing it connected to, say, a TV, that's the purpose behind it. So, but that is today's video. I am going to go ahead and close out saying that I hope that this video helped you to decide if this is the right handheld for you or not. I will be doing a update video probably a couple weeks to a couple months and give that as well. But that is today's video, which is the Lenovo Legion Go. I do hope that it helped you decide if this is the right handout for you or not. If it did, make sure you hit the like button down below. If you have any questions about myself, the product, or the channel, make sure you leave those in the comments section. And as always, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button in this corner over here, and that way you can keep up to date on our new videos and our community section. So thank you for watching, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.